Welcome to the Lose Your Big Ass Stomach podcast. I'm your host, Jay Jackson, and my mission here is to help you get rid of that big ass stomach and take back control of your health so that you can look and feel your best by being the best version of yourself, mentally and physically, while destroying the mediocre agenda society is trying to brainwash you into, and breaking our families' generational curses of being unhealthy by being a healthy and fit role model. It's time to set a new standard. It's time to set a new standard of living. If you find the podcast helpful, be sure to hit that follow button because that helps us build a movement. Let's go. Listen, man, don't get it twisted. Genetics does matter when it comes to getting all lean, ripped up, and cut up and dropping body fat. I get really frustrated when I see so many trainers out there on social media that look like they got carved out abs. You know, somebody done drew their ass up from a cartoon or something like that. And they be telling folks, you can look like them. But they know damn well you can't look like them. You know what I'm saying? Because they just genetically gifted. But everybody's not like that. Everybody's not going to look like, lean, ripped up, and cut up and have abs. And this is one of the reasons I tell people, you got to run your own race, man. You got to become the best version of you, not somebody else. Y'all shouldn't be trying to look like me. You should be trying to look like the best you, because everyone's genetics is a little bit different. Some people, it's going to be a little bit easier and faster for them to drop body fat and get shredded. Then other people, it's going to be a lot harder and a bit slower. For some of y'all ass, way slower to be able to drop body fat and get ripped up. But at the end of the day, we can all get to that place of becoming the best version of ourselves with discipline and consistency. But one of the reasons I want to share this is, back when I was younger, I played football, played Little League football from about, I was like 5-6 years old when I started playing football. I was a running back. And I just remember when we would play like the little white boys. And, man, these boys were so tough. Like, it was like day and night difference when we would play against like little black kids or whatever in football. Because the white boys, when I would be running, even though I'd still be scoring touchdowns and things like that, they still be tackling my ass. And when they grabbed onto me, it seemed like the whole defense would grab my ass. I'm like, damn. And when they grab, they don't let go. And so that just really stuck in my head. And I noticed, I'm like, man, you know what? When we play the little black kids, I might stiff on one of their little ass and I'm out of there. I'm gone. I'm about to go high step into the touchdown. But the reason I say this is because a lot of people try to just rely on talent and genetics to get to that next level. But at some point, talent and genetics will only get you so far. And this is where consistency, mental toughness, and discipline comes in that. This is what can give you an upper hand and an advantage over people who just rely on talent and genetics. And so I take this, now let's take that from, the whole football story to being in fitness. I get a lot of men and women who reach out to me. They want to get lean. That a lot of times guys be like, hey coach, man, I want to look lean, cut up like you, man. If I look like you, man, boy, that'll be great. But here's the thing. I'm aware that I have fairly decent genetics. How some of y'all look at me, I look at some guys on social media. And I'm like, damn, boy, that boy got abs carved out like his abs got baby abs. It's a cat I used to see every now and then. He got dreads. I think his name like Ulysses or something like that. Man, he looked like he was drawn out of a goddamn comic book. I'm like, man, how do you even get abs like that? What in the world? You know what I'm saying? And so it's levels to this shit, y'all. You see what I'm saying? But what I realized at a young age, and I took this from when we used to play like little white kids in football, I got to be able to outcompete the kids who are more talented and even faster than me or have more genetics than me by being extremely consistent, extremely disciplined, more mentally tough. Like from a very young age, especially when I moved my dad when I was like 13 years old, I started hitting the weights every day. It was not a day that went past. That was like my job, y'all. I started going to school, playing football or running track. I worked out every single day. And that helped me build that confidence, my self-confidence, because I'm like, okay, even though I might not be as talented or as fast as some of these athletes, I can outcompete them because I'm more tough. I'm more disciplined. And so a lot of times when certain running backs would come into the game that was on my team, they might get hurt or they might get hit really hard, you know what I'm saying? And they'd have to sit out. Boy, your boy was ready. I was always ready because I was tough. I take a good little hit, I take a lick, I bounce right back up. You know what I'm saying? It didn't really faze me much. And so you want to be thinking about the same thing along your fitness journey. Okay, cool. I see all these guys out here and these women out here, they able to drop body fat real quick. They able to get results. They got really good genetics or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. Don't be mad about that. You don't want to put that kind of bad energy out into the universe. Because if you getting mad and disappointed and you slick hating on them, that's telling the universe you don't feel like you're capable. But you are capable. You just have to believe that. And you can do that by building these other traits. These traits of becoming more mentally tough. These traits of being extremely disciplined. These traits of holding yourself accountable. It's cool to have a coach to hold you accountable, but that still requires some personal responsibility here. Like I didn't have my dad when I was a kid. I didn't have my dad looking over me. Hey, did you work out today? What time did you work out today? What did you eat today? He wasn't doing all that. I was doing it on my own. He I remember days. He would be coming home, and I'd always hear the garage open up. That's how I know he'd be coming home, and I'd be working out. Soon he walked inside the door. He walked into the gym from the garage, and boom, he see me in there getting it in. You see what I'm saying? Did I want to do it every day? No, I didn't always feel like it, even as a kid. And so, guys, some of y'all grown ass men, I don't feel like doing it. Now, as I was a kid, I didn't feel like doing it. I knew at a very young age I'm not going to always feel motivated. I'm not going to always feel like doing it. I'm not going to always just feel great. Sometimes I'm going to be sore or tired. This is just part of the game, baby. This is part of the game. It's just like if you built you a business, it's part of the game that you might lose a little bit of money. You might have to take an L once in a while. You might have to stay at home and not spend no money because it might be a shaky month. You got to be mentally disciplined, emotionally disciplined, and emotionally strong and tough. You see what I'm saying? Same thing in relationships. It ain't going to always be, sunshines and roses, but you got to have that mental toughness and that emotional resilience to endure the tough times. And so when you build these character traits of being consistent and disciplined, this is how you're able to outcompete these people who just rely on talent and genetics, because you're relying on effort. You're relying on consistency. You're relying on discipline. And ultimately, I feel like that's even better because you build your character. I've seen so many people who had great talent, great skill, especially when I got to high school. Like, it was a whole different ball game. I'm like, Jesus. I went to school with guys like Cam Newton, Chance Warmack. Both of these guys ended up going to the NFL. And I just seen so many talented people at Westlake High School that I went to. And I even went to Douglas High School out here in Atlanta at one point as well. Tons of talented kids, but they didn't have the work ethic. They didn't have the consistency and discipline. And so a lot of those kids didn't get anywhere. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes it's only going to get you so far. Like, even for myself, my dream was to go to the NFL. I was very consistent. I was very disciplined. I was very mentally tough. But the NFL just wasn't my calling. You see what I'm saying? And I accepted that. I went through a tough time in my life where it was hard to just come to a, realization that, hey, man, that's just not going to happen for you. You know what I'm saying? But after football was over with, I still had those character traits of being disciplined, consistent, mentally tough. And so I just poured that into, helping people get in shape, helping people lose that big ass stomach. You see what I'm saying? And look at me now. You see how this works. And so now I'm growing an online fitness coaching business, helping people all over the world. You know, at the time you making this podcast, I got 60-something thousand people rocking with me on Instagram, another 30,000 plus on Facebook, and it's just growing because of work ethic. If you go back down my content when I first started, you will be like, boy, this was some trash. This wasn't even the same guy. But because I stayed disciplined and consistent over the years, I got better and better and better, and it just helped me develop my skills. Because when you rely on work ethic, consistency, and discipline, time is going to help you build skills because you're just going to naturally become more aware of what you're doing if you're being intentional. And that's how you build skills up. Once you got these skills, they're lifelong skills. When you have talent, at some point, that talent gonna go to waste. That talent, you only go be able to have so much talent. This is how you see guys like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. They weren't the most skilled and talented basketball players when they were younger, but through their discipline, consistency, and mental toughness, they became some of the greatest that ever lived it. And then you see guys like LeBron James. He's always had that talent, right? You know, I remember times that even when he was in high school, I seen one of his highlights. The dude, he played football, baller. He was a baller in football in high school. And so, you know, when he came to the NBA, it's like, dude, already consistent, already disciplined, already got the talent. It just take it to a whole nother level. That's how you had those superstars like that. But everybody not gonna be like that. Some people just won't have those genetics and that talent. And the people who don't, you shouldn't be mad or, you know, feel down on yourself or disappointed. No, fuck all that. Like, just be disciplined. Rely on what you can control. You know, this is what's gonna give you an upper hand and an advantage over everybody else. Especially in nowadays society, at the time of making this podcast episode, like, there's so many people out here, they just so damn lazy, they don't know what's going on. They think it's my genetics. No, you just ain't doing nothing. You're not even applying yourself and you putting out excuses. How the hell you think you go get somewhere? No. Like, you gotta at least apply yourself, take action. So many guys so afraid of failure, they're not even giving themselves a fighting chance because they never start. And so, focus on being disciplined. Focus on the work ethic. Focus on being consistent. When you start doing these things, you're going to notice that you build up a mental bank account of confidence that is just unshakable. Like, it doesn't matter what you start doing in life, you know that you're going to succeed. At some point, you're going to succeed and win because being consistent and disciplined are like the root things that you have to have, the root traits you have to win and be successful at anything. But most people don't do that. And so double down on these things, man. Hopefully y'all found this podcast helpful. If you did find the episode helpful, be sure to drop your boy a 5-star review, man. Drop your boy a 5-star review. We want to grow this movement, man. I want to help more folks unbig that big old ass stomach, man. And be sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well so you get this free game. I'm giving y'all a free game over here, man. Come on now. Let's go. We out of here. I'll see y'all on the next one.